So what does COVID bring like to mind? Like what does it teach you during COVID?
Yeah, so basically just kind of starting with people getting scared of the gym, like clients starting to cancel and just the gym in general kind of slow down the opening hours, and eventually led to me like getting a lot more free time, which where I kind of blessing in disguise discovered my love for riding again. So I got more free time, started riding a bunch, and that led me to kind of realizing, oh, this is why I started riding, and almost became as much fun as it was when I started, like around 11, 10 years old. So very like I guess how big of a disaster it was for the world, it definitely gave me what I needed in terms of like time and just room to find what I want to do. And I'm definitely happy I got some more time on my bike, and definitely just fell in love with it again.
That's epic to hear. Like such a tough situation to go through, losing income, losing clients, and then the silver line. There's always a silver lining, right? I mean, I sound like such a preacher, but there really is. Like life is hard. Life is shit. People lost businesses during that time. You maybe thought you were going to do that, but the blessing was like you were forced to ride again. Like, so you were just bored at home and you were like, looked at your bike like, yeah, I probably should go for a ride, and then just re-energized you. Because it is, I'm like that at home when I don't ride for a week or two, and then I go ride, I'm like, what was I doing? Like there's never normally a ride that I'm disappointed I went for a ride. Like it is pretty meditative.
Totally. I mean, like people say, like you never really regret a workout or a ride, I guess.
That's true. Exactly. Gym's the same. Running's the same. It went from like raising your heart rate.
Yeah, it's good for you, right? So it basically went from being just at the gym all day working with clients, and then from having packed days in the gym to having a few gaps here and there with clients, like still working with some, and then just getting these windows of opportunity to ride or go play golf, and just finding joy in that again. And eventually that just took over, and I reached out to like Canyon and some other partners I had in the past, and like, look, is there a place for me here in the industry again? Because I really want to go riding and push myself and make this into a job again. So luckily, Canyon would just welcome me with open arms, and 2021 I was on a contract with them again, and really grateful for that.
That's so cool. I've seen some of the videos and they're super fun and feel good as well. And like, if you think about people riding out there, like the masses are also riding for enjoyment. Some of them, most of them are not there to compete. They could care less. Like biking is not about competing maybe ever. They might never do a race or a competition.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many people riding. It's probably just a little fracture of people who are actually competing on a bike, right?
Yeah, no, that's sick, man. So what does that look like? What do you want to do in the industry? Like what video parts are you thinking about? Like what's that been like coming back, and then like looking a little into the future?
Yeah, so I guess that year I was really keen, rode a bunch, and then kind of similar timing, Chopper, Grant Fielder, reached out to me and asked if I want to be a judge. And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty fitting. I feel like I understand this sport enough and would be keen to get involved again in the scene. So I did a little judging course with him, and then had a little test, and he said, you're definitely qualified to do this. And I judged my first event, 2021 Innsbruck Crankworks, which back then was still kind of COVID area, so we did it remotely. So I was just sitting at home, doing it from home, which was a bit weird compared to how it is nowadays, which I prefer, being out and even like sometimes just riding the courses and hanging with my friends. And then just when it's contest time, I just step away and sit in the booth and judge them instead.
It seems similar to commentating. Like you get the
the
rush,
sure.
the pressure. You get to be at the event. You don't have to do it, but there's pressure, man. You judges, like we're coming down to you from the booth. Like, what's going on? Why are you taking so long? Why'd you make that decision? Don't what's going on? So, what's it like to judge? Like, how nerve-wracking is it?
Oh yeah, I'm getting a bit more used to it now. In the beginning, I was like sweating and just can feel my pen just sliding on my fingers. It was pretty stressful. And I mean, just like contest to contest, it can be so different. Some contests are really hard to judge, and it just depends on the level of riding or how close the guys are. So some contests you wish you weren't judging, and some are like fairly easy. But yeah, it's cool now when the sport has gotten to the place where all of the judges are basically just former riders. So I think it's the most fair judging it's ever been.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's how it really should be. So yeah, I think you guys do an incredible job, and it's a thankless job. Like I said, we spoke a bit about the Rampage, and like, you can't win. You just can't win as a judge. You're just going to get slated, and you guys sometimes have it a bit simpler because like everyone's on the same obstacle. So at least you have that. At least you have that part. But like you said, it's almost subjective. Judges are going to have different biases, admittedly so, to certain styles and tricks, even if there's a system. And if it's so close, like that's the hard part, I would guess, versus like, okay, that's a runaway. Like, I just need to make a score higher than the next guy.
Totally, yeah. So, luckily we have like 5 judges, and the score is just an average from all of the judges. So I think it works out in the end. I mean, obviously we can't like be 100% correct every time, but we're trying our best, and I hope people mostly agree with us anyway.